Hi. All right, I think I've got this all set up. I'm trying out Streamlabs. I'm showing you how to make scones in preparation for. I'm going to be doing a panel for Winter in the Woodlands, and that'll be on Saturday, the. Uh, that'll be on Saturday, December 12th. And um, so this is me figuring out how to actually work things ahead of time. Hi, my name's Elia, also known as Elia Chun from Dimensions by Elia Chun. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and I enjoy wearing frilly Japanese fashion. And this particular outfit is a Bat Moonlight jumper skirt by Lady Sloth and just a real basic undershirt because I'm going to be baking. So this would be casual. And we're going to make scones. I have already made clotted cream in my Instant Pot to go with these. And one of the things that we're going to use to make these is the leftover liquid from that, which I have labeled here very conveniently, cream for scones with yesterday's date because that's when I did it. This is also figuring out how this works. I've spent about the past hour and a half setting up cans and things, and so you can see my workspace. I've got an ingredients list, point, and there should be a chat box there. Nobody's saying anything. I'm going to say something just to have something in the chat box. There. See if that worked. Did that work? Maybe. That might not have worked. I don't know. All right. Also, AutoMod has been enabled. I may have to figure that out somehow. But anyway, all right. So yeah. So yeah, I'm also hopefully recording this because I'm gonna also practice having that available on my Twitch channel and also on. Let's see if I can figure out how to upload that to YouTube. Yay! I will attempt to keep swearing to a minimum. I make no guarantees. And here we go. All right, so we're making scones. We are using the recipe from King Arthur flour. Oh, shoot, I should put a link to that in the chat. Scones recipe that I have been to many times before. Basic start here recipe. Yep, that's the one. Okay. I don't know. That may or may not work. All right. Let me see. Hot settings. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, if you search for King Arthur flour scones recipe, you will find it. It is a really good basic starting point. All right, so the first thing we are going to do is we've got our ingredients list here. First thing we're going to do is get my nose with my recipe here a little closer so I can see what I'm doing. All right, we're going to do large mixing bowl. We're going to whisk together the flour, the sugar, the salt, and the baking powder. So that is 2 3/4 cups of flour, and it says all-purpose flour, or if you need to be gluten-free, the recipe actually says that the 1-to-1 substitution flour will work. I haven't tried this yet myself, so if you do, please let me know and confirm that. So I got a cup measurer here. I'm just gonna and there's 1 cup. That is 2 cups. And that's 3/4 of a cup. That's 2 3/4 cup of flour. And next we got 1/3 cup of sugar. Let's see, let me move this in a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. One-third cup of sugar. Three-quarters of a teaspoon of salt. Quarter teaspoon. 3, so that's 1, 2, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. 1 tablespoon of baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder. 1 tablespoon of that. Okie dokie. And that is our dry ingredients. So we're going to start by whisking those together so they are nice, and trying to get some light on this. How about that? Is that a little better? Trying to get light on this without it being too hot. Lightwise. Got my soft box, which is like really, really bright on me, but I think I may back that up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. All right. So we got dry ingredients. Yay. Dry ingredients. Set that aside. And we'll take our small bowl for all our wet ingredients. And Oh, nope, we're not done. We're not done. Because we got to do the butter first. Okay, so we're using 8 tablespoons of butter, cold. I got this out of the freezer probably about 20 minutes ago, so it's about the right temperature. You want this to be. We've all watched the Great British Baking Show where they emphasize how important it is. The temperature of certain ingredients. Butter is definitely one of those. And I do have one of these fabulous pastry blades, but as I learned the last time I did this, that can get bent all to heck if I don't do a little bit of work first. Hi. Cats are making noise. All right. So I'm going to cut this up into some chunks, which will make this easier to work into the flour. Plonk. And that goes in there. Bloop. Okay. And now we're going to work in the butter until the mixture is unevenly crumbly. It is okay for some larger chunks of butter to remain unincorporated. So here we go. And this is definitely a case of having the right tool for the right job. It really helps if you don't have a stand mixer, which I do not. Apparently I could probably do this with a food processor, which I do have. But it's also just kind of really satisfying. Rah. It's kind of like a mini botleth. It's the right shape. I want one of those lunette blades. That's a kitchen botleth. But anyway. So yeah, just kind of working that in. There we go. And if I were, this is really only for me. My hands are washed really well. That's why I don't have gloves on, because it's just me. Obviously, if I were doing this for a larger setting, I would have more protective gear on. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that works. That works so well. I think this particular tool was probably like, I don't know, $7 or something. $6 or $7 at like, at Big Lots, discount store. And it really does make a difference having the proper tool to do, certain things. All right. And that's that. Now, if we were putting other bits in here, like fruit or nuts or anything, which the recipe on the site says, we would have, this would be the point where we kind of fold those, kind of mix those in to our dry ingredients here. Today I'm just making plain traditional scones, so we're going to set that to the side, and now we're going to mix our wet ingredients. So, wet ingredients are eggs, vanilla, or another flavor if you're wanting to use that, and half and half or milk, and we're going to use our set aside scone cream. So that is 2 eggs. I got those bad boys here. egg. Another egg. Get all that eggy goodness in there. All right, now I'm gonna go wash my hands. Hey, Widget. Okay, we have eggs. Next is 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, or the flavoring of your choice. Go ahead and attach that because that's going to have a wet ingredient and will need to be washed. So I ran out of my Good Penzies vanilla extract, so I've just got basic store brand, but I'm generous with vanilla extract. It's a good thing. It's yummy. All right. And half a cup to 2/3 of a cup of half and half for milk. Well, I've already got my 1/3 cup dirty, so I'm going to use that. And like I said, we're using the cream left over from making the clotted cream. And so I'm going to go 1/3. All right, that is not quite 2/3, but it's probably a half, so that's come to the appropriate amount. I'm just going to kind of get all of that goodness out of there, because that is good stuff. That is leftover from making, that is the liquid left over from making clotted cream out of heavy cream in the Instant Pot, which is a really neat thing that I've done a few times now and works really well. Okay, I'm going to dump these in the sink. And I guess I could probably take that. Yeah, so we're going to whisk all these guys together. Here we go. Get a nice and blended and creamy. All right. Easy enough. Okie dokie. And then we're going to add liquid to the dry ingredients and kind of work it all together until it's all moistened. So there we go. Stay. And we're just going to stir that up. And I'm thinking I maybe should have had my... I may have that camera pointed on the other side next time. Just because I am not left-handed. And my hand gets in the way of seeing what you're doing here, of you seeing what I'm doing. Da, da. Okay. That's pretty good. That's getting there. Just trying to get all of this moistened. Don't want to work it too much, I don't think. Okay. Now I am not actually going to bake this batch tonight. I've got some in the freezer that I'm going to go ahead and turn on. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the oven, and I'm going to bake some of the ones I have in the freezer so that I can show you what they look like when they're done. But this really does best when it has a chance to set, to chill, as it were, in the freezer. The recipe even specifically says that, and the recipe suggests at least half an hour. And the neat thing about that is then you can make up your scones, get them all shaped and everything, and then put them in the freezer, and then only take out and actually bake up as many as you need at a given time, i.e. for a tea party, for a virtual tea party that you're going to, where it's really just you sitting in a room with a computer talking to several other people on a screen, but you only have yourself to feed. So you don't need more than one scone, and these really are best. These really are best when they're freshly baked. So I'm going to go turn on the oven and get some of the previous batch out, and get that kind of heating up so that those will be ready to show you by the time we're done dealing with this. So oven goes on to 400. And excuse me, oven goes on to 425. It depends on which recipe you use. This one says 425, so that's what we're going to do. And they want the rack in the top third. I'm going to move that before this gets warm. I was baking pumpkin in there yesterday. They're big. Okay, so on my little box that I keep my frozen scones in, ready to bake, I actually have a label, so I don't have to go look at the recipe every time, that tells me scones, 425-degree oven, rack in the top third. You want to bake them for 18 to 23 minutes. And so I'm going to set that aside while that preheats. And in the meantime, we're going to turn this into future scones. All right, so this is all pretty well moistened. I can't actually see. I have a viewer. I don't know if that is actually if that's just my stream bot, but if there's somebody other than me watching, could you just like wave in the chat or something? Post an emoji. Let me know you're here. Maybe I'm not talking into the void. I'm probably talking into the void. That's okay too. All right. So next is we're going to So now the recipe says we're going to line a baking sheet with parchment, which yes, we are going to do, with a little bit of flour, and then we're going to actually shape this on the baking sheet. That is not what we're going to do, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make snowflake scones, because I'm going to have these for winter in the woodlands. And I'm also probably going to go ahead and, whoa, also going to make some star scones. I got this set of cookie cutters for when I was making stuff for Sea of Serenity, and because they're stars, and heck, why not? So I've got like six different shapes of cookie cutter, and this one, the biggest, works beautifully for making scones. So we're going to make some snowflakes and some stars. I'm going to try not to hit my camera again. There we go. All right. So going to get some of the rest of this out of the way. Wash everything when I'm done with stream. And I have this really nice silicone baking mat. And we're going to use that. Put a little bit of flour on there. Doesn't need a whole lot. I'll have some off to the side that we can work in as needed. And then, all right. Blah. I'm going to just kind of dump all this and scrape all it out here. Also, this gives me a chance to kind of work this more into an actual coherent lump. There we go. There we go. All right. Now, at this point, if we were following the recipe and making traditional nice little wedge-shaped scones, I would brush some milk or cream, which is why I've got the cream there, on top of this, cut it into wedges, put it on the baking sheet. Well, I would have put this on the baking sheet to begin with, dust some sugar over the top of it, and put it in the freezer for half an hour. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Actually, if we were doing the wedge shaped ones, we would have divided this in half and then done all the rest of that. Actually, I think I will go ahead and do that because it is small. It is easier to work with in smaller chunks. All right. Here we go. So yeah, if we were doing that, we'd make this about a 5-inch circle. Love this because it tells me what the size of the circles are. And so however, that does kind of give us about what the thickness needs to be. And I'm going to use my little rolling pin here. And I'm going to just cut some stars out. Kind of shape those. And then squish the rest of this back together. All right, I am going to go ahead and get out So I've determined that this is about as big of a sheet as will fit in my freezer. So this is the size of sheet we're going to put things on. Myself a piece of parchment on there. And just start putting these on there. So there we go. If I move some stuff out of my way, that would probably help. There we go. Actually, you know what? That happens to be a piece of parchment that I've used for this purpose before, so I'm going to use that. Okay. What? Goose is yelling at me. I'm not paying enough attention to him. Ah, beeping means the oven is preheated. I'm going to grab another baking sheet. There we go. I'm just going to bake up the last of what I had in here. All right. So what I had left was one traditional star-shaped scone, and then these guys are actually Earl Grey tea flavored. They're made with some Earl Grey tea in the mix, and that's another recipe. And yeah, so I'm going to put these guys in the oven so they'll be ready to show off by the time we're shaping our new batch. Done shaping our new batch. All right. Kitchen timer set. All right, that's a nice, oh, that's a nice big snowflake. I love shaping scones with cookie cutters. They look so cool. And they're so much fun. And it's like cookie cutters are such an easy way to add some fancy, you know? I'm just gonna squish this into this cookie cutter and well, maybe. I can tell the dough is starting to get, I probably shouldn't like have that under that light even though it's an LED. I can tell the dough is starting to get warm and, you know, and overworked because I can feel the texture, the butter starting to starting to melt. Which is why we're going to put these in the freezer. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Yeah, definitely time to... I don't know if this will come out. Oh boy. Okay, come on. You can do this. You can do this, Scone. Okay, kinda, yeah. Maybe. Alright, well that one's... that one's an interesting looking... that's an interesting looking snowflake. Oh well. That's okay. There it goes. Alright. I think I'm only going to do 2 snowflakes. I think I'm going to do the rest of these as stars. Because the stars are like a good size scone too. They're also not as complex a shape, which helps. Yeah. Okay, so what I should have done is, after I split the dough in half, is put the other half in the fridge. So, take that into advice. do. Making stars. Yeah, okay, one more snowflake. Maybe this will help. There we go. Yeah, not terrible. Yeah. No, we're gonna... I gotta have an even number. It's just gotta. Let's see if this helps. Kind of spreading some of this flour inside. Doot. There. Yeah. Ha. Or not. Okay. I'm just going to kind of shape that. There. Sure. Why not? Okay. These guys. Problem with doing it this way is that you end up with this tiny little bit of stuff left at the end. Let's just kind of add it to some of these. Hey, let me show you what I'm actually doing. Here we go. Just kind of smushing little pieces of this dough onto stuff I've already got here. All right. I don't know how much of this will show when they actually bake. But let's do that. That'll give that. There we go. Maybe. Yeah. All right. Right. So that's those. And that. And that. And I'm going to go put these in the sink. Or by the sink, at least. Okie dokie. Next. Next thing we're going to do, so this next part is the decoration on the top. I should, there we go. Gonna get this out of the way. All right, the next bit is the decoration on the top, and we're going to use some cream and some sparkly sugar, which I did not go get before I started this. I'll be right back. Going over to my tea cabinets. And there's the sparkly sugar. Nice. Sparkly sugar crystals, large sugar crystals. This is actually came from St. James Tea Room as part of one of their take-home tea kits. They're currently only open for curbside, but they are still doing their brilliant menu. I look up to them so much. I get so much inspiration from them. They're amazing. Okay, here we go. We have cream, heavy whipping cream. And you can do this with milk. I'm gonna go grab my got my 1/3 cup measure, which is the thing that we've been kind of using all along and dirtying. We're gonna use that again. Shake that up a little. Pour some into there, just to have something to work out of. I got a set of silicone kitchen tools, and one of them is this fabulous brush thing, which works. This is about the only thing I use it for, but it does work very nicely for this. So we're gonna just paint some cream onto these. And what this will do is, as they bake in the oven, it will give them that really nice, lovely golden brown color on top. It'll also give something for our sparkly sugar to stick to. Here we go. Well, that one's kind of textury, so we're just gonna kind of do that. I think it will also help these ones that I put some scoring on. I think it will probably also help that to show up better. So I guess we'll see when Winter in the Woodlands comes around, huh? There we go. Just kind of get that all on the top of that. Gonna use the same kind of technique again when we do pastries. We'll do this with an egg wash, and again, gets the, once it bakes, it gives it that really nice golden brown color to it that just looks so pretty and so warm and so appetizing. Okay. All right. Almost done. Stay on target. One more. There we go. Hit these guys again with the where I attempted to do some texturing. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Those guys are smelling very tasty. And we got about 4 minutes left on that timer. Perfect. All right. Sprinkling some sugar on these. And, ooh, I guess if I'd thought about it, I could have used some colorful sparkly sugar too. Especially for these snowflakes, that would have been neat. Oh well, next time. Next time, maybe. The reason I put a bow on my head is so you'd have something to look at when I'm looking down at what I'm working on. Yeah. All right. Okie dokie. There we go. All right, and now these are all ready to go in the freezer. If we were baking them today, they'd go in the freezer for at least 30 minutes, during which time I'd now be preheating the oven. And then, yeah, bake them for, while they, So okay, yeah. Here's the explanation for chilling them. For best texture and highest rise, place the pan of scones in the freezer for 30 minutes, uncovered. Chilling the scones relaxes the gluten in the flour, which makes the scones more tender and allows them to rise higher. Obviously, that doesn't apply to if you're doing gluten-free ones, but it also chills the fat of the butter, which makes the scones nice and flaky, which is the awesome thing. So so if we're doing this, if we're baking these tonight, while these were chilling, I'd go ahead and be preheating the oven at this point. But right now, we're gonna put these in the freezer, and those are gonna come out. And those are gonna come out in about a minute. So, I'm actually gonna just set these aside for now because the freezer these are gonna go in is the one out in the garage, and I don't want to just leave you hanging while I do that. All right. Yeah, that's not gonna fit in there. Right. So I'm just gonna put these in here for now. There we go. And put some stuff away while I'm waiting for that last minute. Ooh, I'm gonna get a cooling rack out. That would make sense, wouldn't it? And we'll get the Roomba in here. Okay. Beep. Beep, beep, beep. Ready to come out of the oven. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the piece of parchment that I baked these on was one that I had previously used for putting the milk and chilling them, which is why you've got this going on here, obviously. But look at these. Look at these. Clonk. That big noise there. So yeah, I've got my traditional scone, which is the ones we just made, and then I've got my two Earl Grey tea bat scones. So yeah, so there we go. We have scones. I should let these chill for a few minutes, and then I should taste one. Even though I know they're delicious already because I made them before. Yeah, so again, my name is Elia. I am Elia-chan on Twitter and on Instagram. And I will be presenting a panel on tea snacks for Winter in the Woodlands, which is the second weekend of December. I am terrible. I don't have that date memorized. So that is Friday the 11th through Sunday the 13th. My panel will be on Saturday the 12th, and then I'll see you at the tea party on Sunday. So thank you. If you're probably watching this well after I recorded it, and hopefully this has worked. And I will see you at Winter in the Woodlands. Bye.